This is the fourth edition of the annual conference, which gathered around 300 young participants, including girls and persons living with disabilities from across the country, to engage in discussions on environmental and climate challenges affecting their communities. This event precedes the UN Climate Change Conference of Youth, which takes place ahead of the Global Conference of Parties known as COP30. Since its inception in the Gambia in 2022, ELCOI has provided an essential space for youth to share ideas and expertise aimed at fostering inclusive and sustainable climate action. The Gambia Environmental Alliance has been at the forefront of organizing this event, which has grown from over 100 participants initially to a much larger and more diverse gathering this year. Hadijatu Sise served as the ELCOI lead coordinator overseeing the event's implementation.
ELCOI Gambia has succeeded in establishing a unified platform at a national level since 2022 that amplifies the voices of young people through policy and action. As one of the largest youth gatherings on climate change in the Gambia, this convergence laid a strong foundation for young people to formulate the biggest output of the conference, a national youth statement, which is a Gambia youth policy document that will be outline the collective demands and recommendations from Gambian youths. This document will be presented to our government and partners, as well will be incorporated in the Global Youth Statement at the 20th United Nations Conference of Youth on Climate Change. This will also be presented to the COP30 as a Global Youth Policy document in Brazil. ELCOI Gambia hence provides a platform for us to shape climate policies that reflects the needs of vulnerable and marginalized groups facing the brunt of environmental challenges. For the second consecutive years, we have proven a track record of being among the best youth-led climate conference at the global stage by Yungo.
ELCOI Gambia 2025 aims to raise climate awareness, empower youth to influence policies, build negotiation skills, and foster multi-stakeholder dialogue. Its long-term goals include enhancing climate literacy, increasing youth participation in decision-making, and promoting green jobs in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and ecotourism sectors. Mohamed Haidara, Secretary General of the Gambia Environmental Alliance, emphasized the conference's role in empowering youth and how it has been able to influence national environment and climate change strategies.
Last year, ELCOI 2024, we have came up with over 12 overarching demands, which we have shared to the government of the Gambia, development partners, to ensure that youth demands are being supported and being implemented. And guess what? With the coming of worker projects, our dream have come true. We are able to successfully attain the following. The worker project was able to help the National Environment Agency to revisit their anti-littering regulation of 2007. It was updated, now we have 2025 anti-littering. Not only that, we have also seen the update of the environment impact assessment. I'm glad that Mr. Samade is here. That shows that we young people being part of decision making is very important and paramount. Also, we were part of decision making when it comes to developing the first ever national climate change policy bill. National climate change bill. And in that bill, we young people are so proud to say that we have our voice heard in that document to ensure that 20% of the green fund to be allocated to CSO and youth-led organizations if it is passed into law.
Honorable Rahjan Manjang, the Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, praised the dedication of young participants and reaffirmed the government's commitment to addressing some of their demands.
We need change, and that change cannot happen with only the policy documents. We need minds to change. We need people to understand. We need people to come on board and embrace that change. That is what we are seeing here. For the demands, I don't want to go specific, but I can assure that at least we will be able to provide one ticket under the worker funds. Even if we are going to drop one person, but the second one stands a chance. We will do our best. But the first, I can use my authority to give a verdict that it will be approved, inshallah. Do the request as quickly as possible, it will be approved. On the policy front, let's work hand in hand. That is what is important. Luckily, you have us here.
The opening ceremony was presided over by Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow, who recognized the significance of the annual event and assured government support for youth-led climate initiatives, as well as meeting some of the demands made during the conference.
I'm here today for the first time, but I assure you, it will not be the last. From this day forward, I would lead with a new story, the story of you. I will tell them about the Gambian youth who are not waiting for the world to save them, but who are saving their world. My office will establish an annual dialogue on youth and climate change. This will be a strategic planning session where your policy proposals are directly fed into our national negotiating positions for the COP and our national climate investment plans. I assure you of the Gambia's government's commitment, and your energy will be our strategy, and your resilience will also be our national security.
At the end of the conference, participants are expected to produce a national youth statement reflecting Gambian youth's climate demands, feeding into the 2025 Global Youth Statement for COP30. Other outcomes include an inclusive participation framework, increased climate awareness through outreach, and capacity building in climate negotiation and advocacy. El Qaeda Gambia 2025 empowers youth, especially marginalized groups, to influence climate policies and actively engage in local and global climate action, advancing sustainable development and resilience nationwide. Mariam Adem, reporting for Star TV News.